My name is Kenny Sampson. I tune for Turbogixxer Tuning. We do all kinds of cars, mostly GM and Ford vehicles, and we're doing Staz's MR2 today. He's looking for some pretty decent power today. Hopefully he gets it, and see what happens. Yeah, I've been tuning cars for about as long as YouTube's been around, so about 17 years. I worked in Florida for a while, moved up here, tuned for Speed Factory for a little while, did some really cool stuff over there, and then went on my own, did mostly domestic stuff, but the standalones and stuff like that on this one, AEM, Motec, Haltech, stuff like that, we pretty much specialize in and get cars like this that are pretty high power, want to set records and stuff like that. We do all the standalones and setup for them.
What kind of car do you own?
Car do I own? I own like 17. Which one do you want to know about?
What kind of car do you race?
Oh, race. I have a Mustang. Yeah, races it versus all motor Hondas in the World Cup finals. It races a class called Caddy stock, so it's actually a sealed stock car. So it actually, like if you would say like a 2017 Mustang motor, we just put it into a Fox body. Manual car, manually shifted, stock ECU, tuned by us, set up by us in Rossford.
So as far as like tuning customers' cars and customers being around, what are some of the dumb questions that customers ask you while
constantly? Like dumb questions that are asked repeatedly, or just like the dumbest one I've been asked?
Just repeated questions, and then give me the dumbest one that's been asked.
The most questions that are asked repeatedly that are dumb in my opinion. Are you done yet? Is that the max power it's gonna make, like first pull in? Have you put timing to it yet? What air-fuel ratio do you like? Yeah, I don't get it.
What's the dumbest question that's been asked of you while tuning?
I don't remember on top of my head, honestly. I try to forget stuff like that, just because it's I'm sure there's some terrible stuff that has been asked of me and stuff like that, but mostly it's the questions that people assume a lot of stuff, like, you know, like, oh, like, are you gonna put the time into like 20 degrees? Because my friend told me, you know, 20 degrees is the best timing to run on this stuff, and it's like, your friend isn't tuning the car, is he? I mean, your friend doesn't tune a lot of cars if he's taking a fixed cam angle or a fixed timing angle and thinking that's the best possible.
So you would say the customer shouldn't be in the shop when the tuner's tuning then, is that what you're saying?
No, it matters on the person. More educated people are easier.
Easier to tune.
Just because, like, you know, they'll understand what's going on. Like, you know, the same example, like, are we done yet? Or how much more power do we have left? You know, Wilson didn't ask that one time, so, okay. You know, at least this time, last time probably.
As far as cars that you've tuned, have you tuned any, like, record-breaking cars? Have you tuned any cars that set records? Have you highest horsepower, stuff like that? Yeah,
I've tuned a lot of cars that have quite a few records here and there. I really don't care about records most of the time, honestly. You know, it's like, what's better to you? Like, you know, someone setting a record or someone leaving happy and repeatedly happy and stuff like that. You see like the joy on someone's face when they first go full throttle on their car, and it's just more than they ever expected. What's that? You know, like it's hard to say which one's which. You know?
So when you tune a car, are you building your maps from scratch, or how do you?
It matters the system. It just matters on that stuff, like the GM stuff. Or Ford stuff, or a lot of the OEM-based stuff. They have a lot of control. You're starting with a map anyways. It doesn't matter what you can do. Infiniti in the standalones, I've started from scratch and just built it from nothing. With the stock ECUs, you can't do it. It's not possible. Like you have a factory-based map.
So, what's your favorite platform to tune?
So my favorite platform to tune right now, it'll change probably, you know, later on or whatever it is, but currently I like Ford, honestly. Ford does load correctly. They do a lot of math correctly where you can just put stuff in there and it works really well. You know, I joke around, like I switch one setting on my Caddy stock car and go from methanol to pump gas, and I do zero changes outside of that, you know, outside of timing and stuff like that. But It works really well. It works really, really well. Even like the older Fox body stuff, as long as everything's in good condition, it works really well for what it is. You know, and you don't have to do a lot of changes and stuff like that. And they're pretty premonitory towards sensors and stuff like that. So they work really well, honestly. Hey, this is Kenny from Turbogixxer Tuning. You can like us on Facebook, all the social medias, Instagram at Turbogixxer Tuning. It's all the same across the board. We're in Auburn, Washington. And you'll hopefully check out the channel and check out Dre's racing channel, right? Is that right? I don't even know what I'm on right now. I don't even know what I'm on right now. It may change.